trial that nobody wants if one is searching for the truth. I would be more than happy to make certain that if the defense wanted to reopen their case in chief and bring somebody in who did the analysis on the stains, to say that they came to a reasonable scientific certainty from EDTA preserved blood, I believe I could prevail even on Ms. Clark to say, let's hear it. That's important testimony. I don't think we'll hear that. We shouldn't hear the collateral stuff either. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Blasier, any brief response?
Yes, briefly, Your Honor. It absolutely amazes me that statements would be made about Mr. Randa, and what they asked Agent Marts is, did you say that to Gary Randa? Apparently they didn't ask the question, were you concerned about the fact that you were under investigation at the time you testified? That's the issue. It's not whether he said something to Gary Randa. The fact that he said something to Gary Randa just tells us that he was concerned. And I have to infer from what Mr. Kelberg just said, that they didn't ask him that, whether he knew he was under investigation and whether he was concerned about that at the time of his testimony.
We did ask him, Your Honor. I just didn't make reference to it in my statement.
Well, we still don't know whether he acknowledges he knew he was under investigation and was concerned about that.
He tells us neither.
All right, counsel, thank you. Mr. Blasier.
I found it flabbergasting on Sunday and again today when Mr. Kelberg has apparently taken the position that with material that might be exculpatory, that a scientist might put into a report that might help the defense, shouldn't be there, and the reason it shouldn't be there is because a defense attorney in a trial should be able to ask that question. Now, that's not the way it works. Most cases don't go to trial. Most cases are settled. I would not put an expert, I would not call an FBI expert and start doing discovery on the stand in front of a jury to ask them, well, what else, that's just not the way it works. Brady requires that exculpatory material be made available. Not that it be suppressed, not that we have to go hunt for it, not that we have to ask questions in front of a jury about it, not knowing what we're going to find. I think this particular issue as to whether Dr. Whitehurst is a sad man or not and whether he's being unreasonable or not is very easy to solve. Mr. Cohen has the World Trade Center report that was prepared, the corrected report that was prepared by Dr. Whitehurst, and he has the returned copy that was sent back to Dr. Whitehurst to say, take these things out of this report. And I understand the FBI has just given us permission to allow the court to review that report in camera so you can see, the court can see, what it is the FBI wanted him to take out of his report to determine whether this is suppression of exculpatory material or not. The question that Dr. Whitehurst has, and he talked to me about it as well, his question as a scientist, and by the way, he is very proud of being a member of the FBI. He is very proud of that laboratory. He is not maintaining that they are all crooks. His complaints have been with very few people, and he is a very dedicated man, and he's very proud of his law enforcement role. But the question that he has is, as a scientist, why do I have to slant my reports? Why do I have to leave things out because it might help one side or the other? Those are the questions that he's searching for answers for, and he has not gotten those answers from within the FBI. That's the question that he has. I would submit to you that the issues as to Agent Marts are highly probative. Mr. Kelberg can make all the statements he wants about other ways we might have pursued this case. That's totally irrelevant to whether we have a right to recall Agent Marts and whether we have a right to call Dr. Whitehurst.
All right, thank you, counsel. All right, I have one other question before I make a ruling on this matter. I have received from the United States Attorney's Office a package of documents that appear to be segregated into different types, and apparently I'm being asked to review these as well. No? Counsel?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Jeffrey Eglessh on behalf of the United States.
All right, good afternoon, counsel.
There are two categories of documents there, documents that have been produced to counsel. Those are very few in number, and the court could easily review those. The larger percentage of those documents are documents which we would ask the court to review in the event that the court determines that Agent Whitehurst can be called as a witness. If the court determines that Agent Whitehurst will not be called, I don't believe it's necessary for the court to conduct an in-camera examination of those documents.
All right.
I would suggest that the court should review any documents that might be relevant to this case before you make a decision.
All right, counsel, I need to read both transcripts.
Your Honor, can I give the court the additional, I think I have just the one additional memorandum.
Is that the routing sheet?
No.
No.
This is the one I read from the DNA. It is a memo from Dr. Whitehurst to a person by the name of Strohl, S-T-R-O-H-L.
All right.
And the court may think that this is the same document as one that is attached to the back of the second transcript. There are two such memos, they are different. And the one that I'm giving your clerk at the moment, Your Honor, is the one that refers to the DNA. The one that you have at the end of the transcript does not.
And we also requested Agent Marts be directed to come to California so that if we are permitted to call him, we can do that tomorrow.
All right, what are the planned schedules for this evening?
Your Honor, I am not aware. I had asked Mr. Marts, I believe yesterday when I talked with him, to check on evening flight schedules, and the morning flight schedule, I believe, gets him here at about 11 o'clock, assuming there are no delays on either end.
All right,
That I know for sure.
okay, I will direct that he appear here in Los Angeles tomorrow. All right, will you communicate that with your witness coordinator?
I certainly will.
All right. All right, counsel, I'm going to take the matter under submission, take the transcripts home tonight, read them. I read all the other materials that were submitted to me, with the exception of the additional reports that have now been submitted to me. I'll read those, I'll read the transcripts, and I'll rule tomorrow morning.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, counsel. We'll stand in recess till 9 o'clock.